right, well, what isn't negotiable is what you want to see from your.
Absolutely.
What's sort of the message early on with the defense?
A lot of new faces, a lot of competition at positions. We got a lot of veteran guys that have played other places mixed in with a bunch of young guys that were already here. So just continue to harp on how we finish, how we play, how we practice, and how we step in the building mentally. That's really been the focus for us so far.
Are you big, that canvas clean slate type deal where you got all these new guys? It's sort of fun to maybe start throwing the paint against it to see what you can create.
Oh, absolutely. I think each and every year is different. Primarily based off your personnel is what you could do schematically. From a leadership perspective, from a personnel perspective, and then you get in the scheme. So every year is different. New team, new leaders, new faces. A lot of guys who want to be here. A lot of guys from Houston who transfer home from different places. So we're excited about the people that we have, and I think we got a great opportunity, to get back to work. And our guys are excited, and we're excited to coach them.
You lost a lot of leadership with Luton and Derek Parrish. How do you fill that void?
I think it's by committee. Hassan Hippolyte's going into his third year of being a captain. He's kind of where it starts for us defensively. And then we're developing leaders, guys like Nelson Caesar, who's been around and a part of the program, who played behind Parrish, who's been around a lot of those other guys, and he's doing a really good job of leadership. He's approaches everything like a professional. He's very mature. I think he's got a bright future ahead of him, and he's getting better each and every day. And then you look at guys like Chidozie, who have been here, and then Alex Hogan, a guy in the secondary that we're relying on to, bounce back from last year. Didn't finish the season from injuries, but he's doing a really good job, and he's starting to provide a lot of leadership in the secondary. So we're doing it by committee right now, and I think as coaches, with all the new guys that we have to set a standard that we want to achieve each and every day, and then let the players follow from there. But those guys are really, really doing a good job, and we talk about PLT a lot, player-led team, and the better leadership you have, the better chance that you have to be successful. So we talk about that often.
Doug, at Media Day, Nelson was one that was there, and he told us that he's looking at this year as sort of time to put it really out there. I mean, he's had good moments, but like a complete, full season. When you hear a guy like that say that, I mean, you've been complimentary of him.
Yeah, very.
But what do you think?
I'm just really proud of who he is as a person. First of all, he's a great young man. Takes everything seriously. Everything is really important to him. He's a great teammate. But as far as football goes, Derek Parrish was in that role last year. DeAnthony Jones has been in that role. David Anini was in that role, and they all shined when they got their opportunity. Even Peyton Turner and Logan Hall. So he's had a lot of great examples in front of him. I think that he's going to be one of the best players that we have on our team, and he'll continue to get better every day because of the way that he approaches the game.
Have you kind of figured out between him and David, maybe some of the things that you're going to be able to do, whether having them both out there at the same time or rotating, what that D-line on the edge can look like?
Yeah, I think we got a lot of good bodies, starting with Nelson Caesar. David's coming in from OU. He has length. He has a lot of athleticism, can play on the edge. Brandon Mack came in from Ole Miss, very similar body type. And then on the other side, a couple young guys who we developed that didn't play much last year or redshirted, with Zy Strong and the Dame Tucker, who also have a lot of talent. And we're getting Garfield, coming off of the knee injury back, who hasn't played for us yet, but he's a very talented young man who hope that we continue to develop him as well.
I just wanted to ask you a little bit about the nickel position. That's something that's probably all working through. Can you kind of share a little bit about who's working out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a kind of by committee. We have 3 or 4 guys there that we're all kind of in competition. Alex Hogan's been here. He understands the scheme. Malik Fleming's here, DK Friend. The list goes on. We're working about 5 guys there, so no really solidified person at that spot. We just want to be by committee and create competition. Trying to breed some of that within the room. We had a lot of good players there in the past, from obviously Marcus and Pepe. Jace Rogers just kind of held it down at that position, so that's kind of wide open as well. So we're just trying to figure out what the best pieces are, to play in the secondary. But we do have some young guys and some depth at that position that we're trying to develop.
Does that play a little bit off of too how the other positions play out? Is that how?
Yeah,
who's left after the starters to determine the other spots going?
Yeah, I think it's all kind of by committee. Whether it's nickel, whether it's corner. I know some of those guys even working in safety that are able to play in the slot. So it depends on by scheme and what we want to do. But we want to challenge those guys to get our best 5 on the field in the secondary, regardless of what position that you play. And that's kind of how we've been, and we've kind of trained everybody at 2 positions, the entire time that I've been here. Obviously by, health plays a part into that, as well as overall talent and skill set that we need to play that position, because we ask a lot primarily of the nickel. You got to be able to play man coverage, you got to be able to play zone, you got to be able to tackle. So those three things are a tough combination at times, depending on who we're playing and match up. So we'll throw a lot of bodies in there and see what sticks.
Doug, coming out of the spring, Dana had mentioned sort of he was impressed with the initiative Chidozie had taken, sort of, turning into maybe a guy that people look at as a leader. Have you noticed anything from him, whether it's in spring or here, that this is a guy that's finally, he's got the on-field talent, but just sort of the other intangible stuff?
Yeah, he's a lot like Nelson. The difference in him is that he has been going into his fourth year being a starter. He's been able to help us in a lot of different ways. He's a dominant force at the point of attack, one of the best that I've ever been around. A great young man who's matured tremendously. I think he has, tremendous respect in the locker room. One, because how he approaches football and how he plays every day, and two, being a veteran presence in the locker room and having a bunch of new D linemen. That's where it kind of starts for us up front. That's our philosophy, and he's kind of the ringleader in that room. And when he speaks, people listen. I think he's going to have a great year. He's durable, he's strong, he's physical. Couldn't ask much more from him.
With so many new guys, how has your summer changed? What's different for you?
Yeah, I think it all kind of starts in recruiting. You're trying to piece together a bunch of different things. The transfer portal era has really changed a lot of things and how we have approached it, but we have certain body types, obviously, that we talked about, what we have in Nelson and David and Brandon Mack and Dame Tucker, who are all similar body types. And in the secondary, just trying to get the best players, and then we figure it out there as coaches of what we could do schematically, and a lot of ways will be different each and every year. And as you'll see the evolution of a lot of those guys that have been here that we just talked about, that we expect a lot of, and I think that they'll provide a lot of different value to our team based off what we could do. And in the summer, it's just so different because you're getting to know a bunch of new players, right? On the field and off the field. So just spending a lot of time with those guys as much as we can in the summer. And I think our strength coach, Daryl Bauer, has done a tremendous job up to this point, and he spends more time with them in the summer than we do. But everything that we do collectively kind of aligns with, what Coach Holgerson wants for the program, and then we kind of trickle down from there. So I think we have a good plan. We seem to be in great shape, and guys are excited to be back on the field.
As a DC, new league, new challenges, what do you see from it? I mean, you're worried about your team, obviously, but you look at the week to week now in terms of the offenses that you guys are going to face, and sort of, does it change how you conduct business, how you evaluate your team, knowing what you're going to play this year?
Absolutely. First thing, it's all about the players, right? So acquiring more talent that fits the schemes and the talent that we'll face in the Big 12. Very excited, with all of the Big 12 news and us being our inaugural season within the Big 12. I think our players have a heightened sense of urgency because of scheduling, and I think it'll be really exciting, especially when you get into home games. The atmosphere, a lot of alumni of other universities in the city of Houston. Our players excited to play in front of family and friends, and then obviously the stakes are higher. The better you play, the better bowl games you get, the better opportunities that you have. So really not looking ahead, but just knowing that what's in front of us is different, and we have to approach things different, and we have to make sure that we're building a roster in that way, and that we're coaching players that fit who are going to play on a weekly basis.
What does the linebacker group sort of look like so far in terms of how that shake out?
Yeah, I think a couple guys who have been here. Obviously, Shamarcus played a lot last year. Donovan was in and out of line with injuries. He was a team captain, leader for us, and I think Cheeks did a good job when he was in there. Getting Malik back is really big for us. He's one of our most talented backers with a lot of experience. He's just battled health last year. Went out in the first half of the Texas Tech game. He didn't play anymore. He was our starter, so having him back provides tremendous value. He's kind of a throwback player that plays with an edge, very physical, can do a lot of different things well. And then a lot of young guys that we're excited about. Jamal Morris is here. He was in and out with injuries, and we played him, and he's developing as a linebacker. He plays safety when he's at Oklahoma. He's gained 15 or 20 pounds since he's been here. Has the stature, has the athletic ability, just has to get in there and do it. Traylon Payne is one of the arguably most talented guys on our team, and you saw flashes of him when he was in the lineup. He didn't finish the season last year, but we're excited about him, just the athletic ability. And then, some of those young guys like Jalen Gardner and some of those guys that we haven't been able to see, and in addition of some of the freshmen, McCutcheon and some of those other guys, I think will provide tremendous value, along with Aubrey coming in from Colorado.
When y'all moved Deontay Anderson, that worked out pretty well. The Hippolyte situation is very, very similar. Was that a hard sell for a guy that's old, or?
No, I don't think it is at all. We've done it 3 years in a row. Grant Stewart was first, and obviously it worked out well for him. He's doing well in the NFL. Deontay very intelligent, very athletic at size, and speed to do a lot of different things for us. And he understood scheme because he had played in the back end. And Hassan brings so much value to our team, you know, as far as being the vocal leader. He's physical, he's athletic, and I think for him to reach his goals, it's a great opportunity for him. And he's built same stature, you know, as some of those guys. And he's played a lot of football. He started a bunch of games, so you know the veteran presence along with the athleticism to do some different things with him, to play multiple positions, as well as how much football is important to him and what he's provided to our team over the last couple of years is going to be awesome for our team.
Is there a clear next Luton type guy who's going to be the vocal, or is it going to be a bunch of guys, or are you still looking for that guy?
I think it'll be a couple different guys, but Hassan has been that even when Donovan was here. They kind of bounced off of each other as far as who was talking and who was leading and who was sending the message at that time. And I think having him here, and I think a lot of things that you do, it's always a natural progression. You have to teach leaders how to lead, right? And so all these new guys that we're trying to bring along, having Hassan in there, who's been a 3-time captain, which is hard to do, and the greatest respect that you can have is of your peers, and the locker room respects him for how he plays and how he approaches the game. So that's going to rub off on other people. And I think we have some other guys, like I mentioned before, that'll do a good job in leadership positions, and we'll keep to bringing other guys along.